Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. If you're new, welcome. My name's Jen. Welcome to Jen Plans. If you're returning, thank you so much for returning again. So today's video, we are doing a reading wrap up of for February. So February for me was a good start month, I guess you can say, or a good start to my monthly reading. I've been doing a lot of it. So for the month of February, I read 4 books. So 3 physical books and then 1 audiobook, which I'm going to get into as well. So if I figured that I would start with the first one here, which was Karin Slaughter's The Will Trent series. It's called Undone. I didn't realize these books kind of, I guess, have an order. But this one was number 3, I think it says. So I pulled up kind of just a little kind of plot or synopsis of each one. And I'll give you kind of my ratings on each of them. Now, if you have kind of been following me on social media, you know that Karin Slaughter has very quickly become one of my favorite authors. This one I gave a 4-star because I did get lost a little bit in kind of the center of the book. However, still really good. So basically it follows a doctor named Sarah Linton, and she is she's a trauma surgeon at the Atlanta hospital. And when a young woman enters her kind of trauma center, there's a special investigation. It follows a special agent, well, his name is Will Trent, and his partner, Faith Mitchell. So they all kind of have their own little secrets. Sarah and Will and Faith kind of realize that they stand between a madman, I guess you can call him, or like a serial killer, and his next victim. So there's lots of twists and turns around this book. And like I said, each person in this book kind of carries some secrets. So you find some things out about Faith, you find some things out about Sarah and Will. So overall, I did find this a really, really, really good book. So the next book I went to is called Circe by Madeline Miller. She also has another book, The Song of Achilles, that I did not realize I could have read first. After reading this, it might be something that I kind of look into. So essentially, this book by Madeline Miller is a feminist retelling story of Circe, a famous witch in Greek mythology. So basically, Circe is the daughter of a nymph and a titan. She's a disappointment to her family, who believes her to be very weak. So she's ignored by the divine beings around her, but Circe is fascinated by mortals. So when it's discovered that Circe is a witch, the gods exile her to an island because they are in fear of her powers. So while she is on this island by herself, she discovers her true powers as a witch. So it kind of navigates love and loss and motherhood, and Circe must eventually choose between the world of the gods and the world of the mortals. So for me, this was actually my very first kind of fantasy. I don't even know how to explain what it is. I guess it's like, I don't know, Greek mythology. They call it a biographical novel. So yeah, I'm very surprised that I liked this. I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about it, but the book itself, it took me a little while to get into, but I really, really liked it afterwards. I think that I gave this a 3.5 stars, simply because I just need to learn a bit more about these types of novels. The cover is amazing. I love how they kind of created a map to show you kind of like where Circe's home is, the pool, where the cliffs are. So everything in here you can kind of see. And it does describe it really well in the book. So I just thought this was really cool. I'm glad that I actually stuck with it because it turns out that I do like this type of book, and yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. The third book I picked was one that I had heard about a lot. I got really, really mixed reviews on this, and I wasn't really sure if I was going to like this or not, but it turns out that I really enjoyed this book. I gave this book a 4 out of 5. it didn't really, I don't know, it lived up to expectations for me, at least. I don't know. This was my first Alex. I don't know how to say his last name. Michaelides. I'm not sure. But it was my first book by him, and I really, really enjoyed it. So basically, it follows a painter named Alicia Berenson, and she's basically a painter that murdered her husband of 7 years. She doesn't deny it or provide an explanation of the murder. She's really unable or unwilling to speak at all. So she was detained at her home prior for going to trial. She makes a statement about the murder in the form of a painting, which she titles a Celtis or a Celtis. I'm not sure how to say it, after the ancient Greek play. So basically there is a psychotherapist named Theo that kind of takes interest in her case and basically says that he wants to try and figure out what happened. So as it goes through, it kind of reveals a little bit more about Theo's personal life and his relationship with his wife, Kathy. And I'm not going to spoil it too much, but basically, you know, Alicia and Theo spend a lot of time together in their counseling sessions, and that's kind of where I'm going to leave it. But the twist in this threw me for a loop, and yeah, anyways, I really, really enjoyed this. There's a lot of twists near the end. It's kind of crazy, but for me, it was great. 4 stars for me. And the last one that I read was the beginning of the Shatter Me series. So basically, again, this was kind of a different genre for me. It is a YA dystopian novel by Tahereh Mafi. So the book was, I think it's a few years old, from back in like the early or mid 2011. So basically it is about a girl named Juliette Ferrars. She's 17 years old. She's been locked in a cell of an asylum because of her lethal touch, which means everybody she touches, she can potentially kill. So what happened at the beginning, you learn that she accidentally killed a young boy, and she's been kept in these detention centers since. So after being isolated for a long time, she learns that she will have a cellmate, and she's kind of confused about the whole thing. The cellmate is a guy named Adam, and he is the same age as her. So she has a feeling that she had seen him somewhere before, but she can't really remember exactly where it is. So at first she kind of doesn't want to talk to him. Adam's kind of aggressive towards her, takes away like her pillow and blanket and stuff like that. And then I guess one day what happens is like soldiers come to take her away. They take her to a place called Sector 45, where it's kind of all under control. She learns that there's kind of like a reestablishment. Basically their world has kind of gone down the crapper, I guess you could say. But anyway, she meets this guy named Warner, who's kind of the leader of Sector 45. And we're introduced to kind of a whole bunch of different characters, and Kenji being one of my favorites, but we meet him kind of later in the book. Anyways, so there's a lot going on, but basically it's about a establishment. She goes to this place, and she learns that this place called Omega Point is kind of like the headquarters. She meets a guy named Castle. There's all kinds of people, so you kind of have to follow it a little closely. But eventually we learn that all these people at Omega Point, I think there's like over 50 of them, but they all have special kind of powers. So it kind of threw me off at first, but honestly, I gave this book a 4.5 because I couldn't put it down. It's, again, a YA, so there's a little bit of kind of romance in there, a little bit of spiciness, but overall nothing too huge, because of course they are young, so I was hoping there wasn't going to be much of that. But anyways, yes, 4.5. I am currently I'm doing this a little bit late in March, but I've already read now the second, and I'm on the third book, and I can tell you that the series is getting better. So anyways, you guys, that is my reading wrap up for February. I know it was a little bit late. I wasn't sure if I wanted to do this or not, but I'm glad I did, because it kind of just takes me back through the books and kind of what I learned about the books. And I'm really finding out what I enjoy reading, so I'm really excited about that. Let me know what you guys think. If you'd like me to do these every month, I would love to. I am very much into reading, and yeah, so let me know what you guys think. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Normally we do our planner videos, but I am getting more into this kind of reading era, so this is definitely something that's going to be showcased on my channel throughout this year, and hopefully for a couple years or more. Anyways, you guys, that is it, and thank you for stopping by again, and we will see you in our next video. Bye, guys.